Welcome everybody, people online and the lovely people, gentlemen and ladies here today. Namaste to your divine souls. This is the service that we'll go through today. And the first thing on the thing is the Lord's Prayer. Then we'll do the I am affirmation, forgiveness, gratitude, invoking the violet flame, the music for You'll Never Walk Alone and the Lord's Prayer, the great invocation, and then I'll do a little channeling. We'll do a meditation, and then at the end we'll say these: I am the light, I am the love, I am truth, Om, 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 and prayer. So before we get started, let's say, invoke for divine blessings. We thank you, Father, Mother God, for this great and wonderful privilege to be here today with these divine souls. We ask that the healing angels, the guides, the loved ones, the teachers, the holy ones, the masters, the gurus, the great, great ones, the holy angels, archangels, and spiritual helpers, and their designated healing angels to come forth and work and speak through us to give inspiration, upliftment, guidance, healing, divine protection, divine blessings, divine love, and peace and harmony in our hearts. We thank you, Father, Mother God, for this great and wonderful privilege to be here with these divine souls. So be it, so be it, so be it, and so it is. Amen. Do you want to make sure she gets a paver? She just walked in, please. So we will sing the Lord's Prayer. We'll have music for the Lord's Prayer. If you want to sing along, we will. But before we do that, well, I'm going to explain to all of you about the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer was given to us, but very few people realize that through the Lord's Prayer, it's connected to the chakras of the body. And as it is connected to the chakras of the body, I'll explain to you how that works. And when you say invoke the Lord's Prayer, then you're invoking to clear these chakras and bring the right kind of energy into you, and it holds the spiritual energy for the rest of your day, or a time being when you're not having a good time in life and you say the Lord's Prayer, you actually bring the divine energy and it lines up with each one of the chakras. It's also each one of the chakras. In pranic healing, we study 11 chakras, not just 7. And this lines up with some of those chakras. So that is going to be explained in some of this. And it also lines up with the Kabbalah tree of life, which looks like this. These are the chakras that lines up with. Okay, so when you say Our Father, it lines up with the crown chakra. And the Kabbalah, it is called the Keter. It brings in divine oneness and spiritual energy into the body. So then when you say the I am affirmation, I'm not my body, I'm not my emotions, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my mind, and so on. I am the soul. You're aligning your crown chakra with divine energy. It brings it in from the higher soul. And as it comes down into the body, then it anchors and gives you divine direction from the higher soul. And it gives you your power back. Okay, so if you're in an emotional state or you're having some problems outside of you, when you go inside and say the Lord's Prayer. The first one, Our Father, aligns that divine energy through your crown chakra to come down. And therefore, it will give you your power back because you're not giving your power up to things outside of you. Okay? So as you come to that point where you're the divine light is funneling down through, then you start to feel your peace, your harmony, you settle into the soul energy, and you're not directing it out here and getting that, letting things upset you or irritate you, or you don't get in that emotional roller coaster, so to speak. The next one is Who art in heaven, and that is the forehead chakra. That's here, not here. This is here, and that's the third eye. It is not, a lot of people think the third eye is here, but that's the Ajna chakra. This is the third eye up here in your forehead chakra. Okay, so the four are who are in heaven is the forehead. That's the shokma, and that's the the Kabbalistic name for that chakra. It brings wisdom, knowing through direct perception. Remember, perception comes through your third eye. As you're connected to the other side, it comes through the third eye, which is here. Pick up a paper, please. Thank you. And this is access to the inner world, the spiritual world, the heaven. So who art in heaven. So this is the chakra that reacts to that verse of the Lord's Prayer. And the next one then is hallowed be thy name. The next two chakras that affects is your Ajna. This is your Ajna chakra. This chakra is the chakra of will. And that as you're invoking with the divine prayers or any divine affirmation, this is the one that brings in divine will, okay? And it affects your will here on earth. So it is understanding, and that is the Benai. The throat chakra is a knowledge. It's the concrete mind. So it is the knowledge. That's the throat chakra. It also is higher creation. Your sex chakra is lower creation. This is higher creation. So that's knowledge. And that one is Dahath. What comes out of your mouth and what comes out of your mind must be holy, must be good. Only what is good shall come out of me. Only what is good shall come back to me. This is the law. So as I say that again, I want you to close your eyes, concentrate on your Ajna chakra and your throat chakra. What comes out of my mouth and what comes out of my mind must be holy, must be good. Only what is good shall come out of me. Only what is good shall come back to me. This is the law. What I think, what I feel, what I say repeatedly will tend to materialize. And I then invoke what comes out of me shall only be good. What comes out and only good shall return to me. This is the law. So I don't know if you all can feel that energy as you do that. You're invoking for that to happen. As we invoke things, especially in the beginning of our day, we begin to materialize what we're invoking. So that will come into your life. Pay attention to the words you use. The words are things, and they create things outside of you. As you say, okay, just the word hate. Let's use the word hate. That is a low vibration word, okay? The vibration of that word. So even if you don't hate somebody, if you say, oh, I hate that when it happens, you're invoking negative energy into that situation. So I had a spiritual teacher at the time and said, when you use the word hate for anything, it charges your whole being with negative energy. So we have to be careful. What comes out of us? What are we invoking? Every time you speak, you're invoking something. Every time you look at certain situations and make a judgment about that and speak about that situation, you're charging yourself and your energy with that energy of what you're speaking. So if you have a bad situation, and I've been this way also, you had somebody hurt your feelings, or there was a situation and you kept telling that story over and over again, you're charging your energy and your being with that negative and reliving that old story. And you keep reliving that old story. So watch what you say, think, and do. And especially when you're saying the Lord's Prayer and you say, hallowed be thy name, that means your word has to be hallowed. Your actions have to be hallowed, and they have to be good and positive, because everything you think, say, and do is going to come back to you in some way. Karma, as we have many times heard, karma can be not so nice, can it? Especially when it's instant karma, hits you back in the face, right? So as we go forward, and especially in this energy that we're having today, because the divine feminine energy is coming in at a very fast rate. It's been coming in since the 1980s, and it's coming in so fast now that it's actually causing this great awakening, which we are in. So the things on the outside may look like chaos, but if we go inward, we turn inward and start becoming more conscious of what we're saying, thinking, and doing, then we're creating in this new energy that's coming in, then we are able to start creating and manifesting at thought. So watch how things, when you start aligning with this new energy and you start going inward and finding your divine peace, watch how that comes in and starts creating on the outside. You're going to start manifesting positive things on the outside, and therefore we need to be extremely careful of what we say, think, and do. The kingdom come, and that is focused on the heart. The heart is the chakra of mercy, loving kindness. It is called the Chesda, and the mercy, loving kindness, non-injury, non-stealing, and generosity. It is in giving that you receive. By showing mercy and compassion, sharing and giving, then you will be blessed with tremendous abundance and tremendous prosperity. It is in giving that you receive. As we sow abundantly, we reap abundantly. And this is the law. And giving and sharing, we shall inherit the kingdom. So that goes back to the kingdom come. In order to have these abundance, though, we have to remember we have to give to receive. But I caution people many times on my path that I help. I caution them to be careful that too much giving is not good for the spiritual person either. We want to give, we want to be helping other people. We came here to be light workers, we're divine beings, but we cannot be spiritual doormats either. And we also, please, yeah, she got it. And also we have to have a balance, okay? So when we have a balance, it's like if this is your giving hand and this is your receiving hand. So the energy comes in, you receive the energy and it gives out and you give out energy, correct? So as we do that, then if you're not balancing the giving and receiving, then it's like closing this hand. I have nothing to give at some point if I'm not balancing it with receiving. You must receive to give, and you must give to receive. It has to be a balance. Many times as light workers and spiritual people, we give, and then pretty soon we're like, because our cup is empty. We don't receive enough to fill that back up. And that can be also just with spiritual energy. But if you're using spiritual energy and giving, you're not depleting yourself. Now, I am a medium and I do sometimes expos and things where I'm doing a lot of readings. So sometimes I've done as many as 20 readings in one day. And people say, oh, you must be tired. Well, it's the opposite. I am not using my energy. By the end of the night, I'm up till 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm so charged with spiritual energy, I can't get calmed down. And that's the creative energy. That's the divine energy. We deplete ourselves many, many times without even realizing it through emotions, because we're not using spiritual energy. We're not using the right perspective on many situations. And then we're depleted, we're exhausted, we don't feel like we can move because our emotional energy has been charged with negativity or not used in the proper way, and then we drain ourselves. So we want to give. Yes, that's important. We must give, we must share, we must love, but don't forget to receive also. And as you're receiving the divine energy, you will not deplete yourself. So watch how you're doing. Become aware. With any shift that we do, and we're shifting constantly, with any shift that we do, we are experiencing three things: willingness, awareness, and choice. Willing to look at what is happening. Awareness, where we get the right perception, where we get the whole picture. And then we have a choice. I don't want to be in this anymore. I'm going to change this energy, or I'm comfortable here and I'll stay where I'm at. Okay? So remember when you're going through something, to check out, you're willing to look at it. Are you aware of what's really going on? And then you have the choice. Make the choices that you need to make in order to get to the next vibration. How do we get from one vibration to another vibration? Is to love ourselves into it. Sometimes we make mistakes, yes, but what is it that we do with those mistakes? We have to learn from our mistakes, but not continually going back to them as they can say, beat yourself up for it, but evolve from that mistake. That is a learning curve. The emotions and mistakes and things like we do like that are for us to learn and move to a higher level. Okay, the next one then is thy will be done. Those are then you concentrate on the solar plexus, the front and back. In pranic healing, like I said, we have more than 7 chakras. The first, then the solar plexus has a front and a back solar chakra. And this is about judgment, civility, strength. It is called, now let me see if I can say this, Generafa. And this then is, let the will of my higher soul be done. Let the will of my higher soul be aligned with the divine will. Let the divine purpose guide the little will of men. Let the divine purpose guide the will of my higher soul. And as you're concentrating on let thy will be done, then you concentrate on several things that you can accomplish in this aspect. One-pointedness. Many times when we're on a spiritual path or on any path, whether it's spiritual or not, we have to have that focus. And if we fall off of that focus, then we don't always get to where we need to be. So one-pointedness on your spiritual path is extremely important, that you stay focused on what you want to be. Meditation, prayer, being in a group that focus on spirituality, just coming to a service like this, that's you're getting your one-pointedness in focus. You're focusing on what you want to invoke into your life. And then consistency of aim and effort. And we all know what this means. You want to aim and you keep that consistency of that effort going forward. You can't accomplish anything in life or on your spiritual path unless you have a consistency of aim and effort towards that goal or towards that spiritual path that you have placed yourself on. Okay. And then the next one is self-mastery. We're in control of ourselves and how we use energy. We are not in control of anything outside of that. When we give our pieces of ourselves or our power up to situations, people, or whatever's happening outside of us, that's when we lose our self-mastery, because we have let our emotions or our attachments outside of us control how we are acting, how we are judging ourselves, how we are conducting ourselves. This is not self-mastery. Self-mastery then is being in control of yourself, being consciously in control of yourself, not getting on that emotional roller coaster, which is peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. And we've all been on that. That's not fun ride, is it? So, but staying on what I call the universal wave, which is you have your ups and downs, but it's smooth. It goes smoother, and the downs aren't so far down, and it is a smooth ride, not a peak and valley. Okay. And then soul mastery. And that's when we become enlightened souls. And as we become enlightened, the more we become enlightened, we tap into the divine love. We tap into the divine intelligence, and we tap into the divine will, and we live our life accordingly. So then we get off of that divine or that emotional stuff, that physical entrapment or entanglement. Okay. And then I align myself to the will of my higher soul. So I want you guys to close your eyes a minute and connect with your higher soul, which is just above your head. And just as I say this 3 times, feel yourself aligning with that divine presence there, that divine energy. I align myself with the will of my higher soul. I align myself with the will of the higher soul. I align myself with the will of the higher soul. And for you, those of you that are sensitive, you'll feel that connection forming from your crown, and you feel it kind of melting down into the rest of you. And when you give your power up to your higher soul and keep that connection firm, then you'll be divinely guided throughout each and every moment of your day. And my suggestion to you guys is to say the Lord's Prayer in the morning and then say, let me be divinely guided throughout each and every moment of my day. Okay, and then, excuse me, on earth as it is in heaven. That is connected with your navel chakra. That is called the beauty, the Tifera. It connects with the physical energy of the golden ball of chi light surrounded by a rainbow light. That is why it is called beauty. When this is the conductor of golden light right in your navel chakra. So when you are saying the Lord's Prayer or when you are doing a meditation, lots of times you can just, there's a, I forget what they call it. It's a way to hold your hand, and you put your right hand is on the bottom, you put your left hand on top and connect your fingers and hold it right in front of your navel chakra when you are meditating. And that will channel golden chi energy into your navel, which is, okay, just think about what is the navel. That's where your umbilical cord was attached, right? So it channels that energy into the creativity, the lower creativity of the body, which then is the sex chakra. And that then starts to nourish and feed that. And then it gets channeled up to the crown chakra. So it makes a circuit-like connection with the golden energy. And then we form what we call a golden body, which lots of times people can see as if you have an intuitive mind, you can see if somebody has a golden body. When we get to a rainbow body, we've gotten there. but the golden body is a good thing to strive for. Okay. Give us this day our daily bread. That is your front and back spleen chakra. It is the neck sac. It is the victory or power. That is your powerhouse. The spleen chakra is the chakra that brings in divine prana into the body. So as that comes in, and we have a front and back chakra, as that energy comes into our body, we assimilate that divine energy and it feeds our energy bodies so that we can stay healthy. And, lots of times the physical doctors will say, oh, I don't know, it would take the spleen out, and they think, oh, it's not worth much. Oh, yes, it is. It's worth more than they realize, because the spleen is where we get divine prana from. Okay. And so as we focus on the spleen chakra, Lord God, thank you for the life energy. Thank you for good health. Thank you for long life. So be it. The spleen is the entry for life energy and prana. So that is, give us this day our daily bread. Now the next verse in the Lord's Prayer is, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. That is the Meng Meng chakra, the hood, and that is the Meng Meng chakra is directly behind the navel on the back. And that transmutes lower, grosser energy into more subtle energy, the spiritual energy. This also controls high blood pressure. And when you're really erratic, and it also controls the heartbeat, that energy center does. And as that energy center is activated with divine energy, when you invoke, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, that will, it activates the higher chakras so that we can see things as they are. So we can see the true perspective of things as you're activating that. So it says forgive. So that's how important it is in our lives to do forgiveness, and we'll do some today. We need to clear these chakras so that we can get a bigger perspective. Once you get to a certain point of the right perspective and insight, you can look at a person and they're acting out, or they're doing something that's harmful to themselves or you can actually look at the situation, get quiet with yourself, and you can understand and see why that person is acting the way they do. You can see that that person was maybe injured or abused, or why they act the way they do. So you have a better understanding and compassion for that person. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to stay best friends with that person, right? I mean, you can cut the ties with that person, but you can have compassion and understanding and insight why that person acts that way, so that you can pray for that person, send them healing energy. And if you hold them in their highest and best good, then that helps you to rise to your highest and best good. So as we do forgiveness, it also unchanged karmic ties with the person or the situation. We have karmic ties that we come in with in this world, and that will unchain it as if this was the person's soul and this is your soul. It's like chaining together. You do forgiveness and you keep doing forgiveness. And sometimes it's not for that person, is it? It's for you. It's for you to unchain that karmic tie, to send them love and hold them at their highest and best, no matter what they're doing. I've had some pretty icky people in my life and pretty dangerous people in my life, but I did forgiveness and let them go. And I don't have to replay that old pattern with anybody after that. Once you do that forgiveness, you'll be able to move forward to a different dimensional frequency for yourself. You don't have to redo that pattern. And you know people, and I know people, and even myself, where we've replayed a pattern over and over and over again. My best example for that is when someone gets married and they divorce the person, and then they go out and find a girlfriend or a boyfriend that's just like the person that they divorced, and they remarry him, and they play that same pattern over and over and over again. Well, I like to do forgiveness and unchain that because I don't want to play that pattern over again. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've done that, been there and done that, and it doesn't need to be done again. It activates the higher chakras so that we can see things as they are. Every person is evolving, and this process involves time and mistakes, doesn't it? It takes time, and we make mistakes. And those people make mistakes on their path. So forgiveness and releasing ourselves too, because how many times have we beat ourselves up over and over and over again for things that we did, or why didn't I do this, shoulda, coulda, woulda, that kind of thing going on there. So those things need to be taken out of our vocabulary, that shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff. And then we need also to love ourselves into a new reality, a new dimension. And a lot of people are just learning how to do that right now because of the way the energies are coming in. We have new dimensions that are going to open up to it. The fifth dimensional frequency of love is coming in so strong, so beautifully. We're going to learn how to stand back and love, even though we don't like what's happening. We hold that divine love as we move into these new fifth dimensional frequencies of love and these new dimensions that are coming forth that are so much nicer than the old ones that we've been vibrating in. Okay, so the next one is lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Okay, you want to focus on your back heart chakra, the crown, and the sex chakra. The sex chakra is patience, foundations, physical world, physical creation. It is called the Yutza. It is the sex chakra. Sex is a natural thing. I grew up in a home where my family was pretty, religious. And, they looked at sex like it was something dirty. Okay, sex was given to us by the Almighty. And sex is good. And it is natural. But we also have to remember that everything is in moderation. So when we go, these are lower chakra energies. They're beautiful energies. We were given them for creation. But then we remember to do everything in moderation. But sex can also as we focus on the back heart and the sex chakra, it can be transmuted into love, sweetness, and intimacy. When we focus on the crown chakra with sex, the divine energy, higher intelligence, and oneness with all is then, as you focus on the sex chakra and the crown chakra together, it mixes the lower energies and the higher energies, and it actually wakes up the Kundalini, and you can get into higher divine dimensions through that. The Kundalini is in the back of where the sex chakra is, at the base of the spine. And when we mix the lower energies and the higher energies and have them coming up, 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 and then that's what ignites, and we become, we can wake up the Kundalini and have higher evolution and higher ascension. Okay, so, and then when you focus with the sex chakra and the throat chakra, this transmutes into creativity and greater intelligence. So the throat chakra is your higher creativity. The sex chakra is your lower creativity. And as we mix those things together and bring that energy up to the throat chakra, it actually gives you higher creativity and greater intelligence. When people are not conscious of that, and they have a lot of spirituality, and they're not mixing their lower energy and their higher energy, that's when you see like spiritual leaders getting in trouble with, ladies of the night, because they're not aware that they're activating the lower energy as much as they're activating the higher energy of the throat and the crown and the back heart. And so then they get in trouble with the sexual energy because they're not concentrating on bringing it up, and it activates too much down here. So anyway, and then the next one, then thine is the kingdom. The basic chakra is at approximately the tailbone area, which is the kingdom, the Maluth, and it's at the base of the spine. The power is the throat and the back spleen. The glory is the Meng Meng, and the crown is forever. And that is how, when you use the Lord's Prayer and activate these things in your life and say, like I say, I get up in the morning, I say the Lord's Prayer and say, let me be divinely guided throughout each and every moment of this day, so that I set myself and invoke for the right path every morning. When we're invoking to the universe will give to you. That is the statement from the Bible, ask and it is given. When we're invoking to the universe doesn't know between negative and positive. So when you say to the universe, I'm invoking, or you're concentrating on something that's happening that's negative, you will receive that. It will come back to you. But, and this is how the energies work, okay? You think a negative thought, it comes down, it goes out, it gathers more, and it comes back and it sits with you. It doesn't go anywhere. It's stuck with you because it's not high energy. If you think positive, it comes down, it goes out, it picks up more positive energy, and then it connects up because it's high vibration. Okay. So we are the ones that have come here to be light workers. If you're and on any part of your spiritual path, you know that you're a light worker. You're a divine being that is coming here to hold energy for this earth. And as we do that, we need to invoke what we want to see happen. We're much more powerful than we have given ourselves credit for. We've been dumbed down a little bit as to how powerful we really are. But when we start aligning by saying the Lord's Prayer and evoking that we are being divinely guided, we will gain more power and we will manifest more good onto the earth than we can imagine. And so that is the explanation of the Lord's Prayer, how it connects to our physical or our physical body also, and our chakras, and how when we say that, it starts to invoke positive energies in our body. Okay, so now we can open our things. This is the Lord's Prayer. I have music. I'd love for you guys to sing with me. And I walked off without my I walked off without my speaker, so we're going to see how this works. Okay, and this is a man sing, I can't remember his name. Andre, yes, there you go. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll just do this and sing along if you want to, or just say it in your head. So I don't know if you can hear this enough. Which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. The kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Okay, so we have to have a little singing because singing brings the vibration up. Vibration of singing and colors is extremely important in this particular vibration that we're bringing here on earth. So that is a positive thing. So on the next page, we will say the I am affirmation together. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am not my body. I am not my emotions. I am not my thoughts. I am not my mind. The mind is only a subtle instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, divine power. I am one with the higher soul. I am that I am. I'm one with the divine spark. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God. I am one with all. On the next page, we talked about forgiveness. Forgiveness is extremely important for us to release things from ourselves. It's not so much that you have to forgive that other person, you know, and you're like, oh, but they did this or that or this, and there's hard feelings, it's hurtful. But you want to release yourself from that energy. You want to clean that energy up between you and that person. So forgiveness is extremely important to remember to do along our path, to clear our path so that we can walk on what I call the golden path, the path of our spiritual abundance, the path of our spiritual being, and the path of our spiritual ascension. So as we do that, we'll read the joy of forgiveness. I am flooding my being and every single etheric record since the beginning of time with the joyful experience of divine forgiveness. In forgiving, I let go of all the effects and misuse energy impinging on my life and the life of all humanity. I let go of ignorance, confusion, and pain of this world. I know now I have come to love life free, and so I shall. This is the heart center of my existence, the joy of forgiving life as it enters my awareness. From this moment forth, I am setting all life free into higher vibration with the gift of forgiveness that my Father, Mother, God have given so freely unto me, my keeping. I am force of the violet flame of forgiveness, flooding the sweet earth. I am the joy of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. So as we have come in this particular time, the light workers that we are, the divine beings that we are, we come here to hold forgiveness also for the world, not just for ourselves or people we know. We come here to hold forgiveness for the world as we are ascending into this new fifth dimensional frequency of love. We will ascend into that with joy and love, and forgiveness is part of that. So as we do so, the violet flame was given to us to help create and to help ascend ourselves and others into this higher frequency. So as the next page, invoking the violet flame, we will say this 3 times. Transmute, transmute by the violet fire, all causes and cores not of God's desire. I am a being of cause alone. That cause is love, the sacred tone. Transmute, transmute by violet fire, all causes and cores not of God's desire. I am a being of cause alone. The cause is love, the sacred tone. Transmute, transmute by the violet fire, all causes and cores not of God's desire. I am the being of cause alone. That cause is love, the sacred tone. And I don't think we're going to sing this now, but I want to do the gratitude of our Father, Mother, God. So just close your eyes quietly. Beloved Father, Mother, God, from your glorious heart I came into being, and into your loving heart one day. When my service here on earth is through, I shall return. I thank you for the privilege of having life and of having a physical embodiment during this sacred time when the permanent golden age of spiritual freedom is being established on earth. I thank you for the gift of transmutation through the power of the violet transmuting flame, the amazing gift through which all that is not of the light that I, myself, or others have created, consciously or unconsciously, shall be purified and returned to light. I thank you for sustaining through the legions of the ascended flame and the open door through which this sweet earth and all life evolving upon her shall return home. To this end, I know now, individually and collectively, as a surrogate on behalf of all humanity, offer my energies and my individual life stream as a holy grail through which the light of creation will flow to fulfillment and the immaculate conception of the divine plan for this blessed planet. Assist me, beloved Father, Mother, God, to harmonize my outer self, physical self, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies. Through the grace of this transfiguring divine love invested in me with the power to magnetize and radiate the presence of divinity with every word, thought, action, and feeling I express from this moment forth. And so it is, my beloved, I am. Amen, 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 and amen. Okay, so we're going to do the great invocation. That's on the last page, and this is invoking for peace on this earth. At this time, as we know, there is not peace throughout the earth. And we want to invoke to the earth that there is peace, and we hold that vision for the earth as we come into our realization of the divine within us. We know that we have the power to hold the light as we are asked, as we came forth to be light workers and to hold the vision and the light for the world as it is ascending into the new dimensional frequency. So we'll say the great invocation together. From the point of light within the mind of God, light descends on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, love streams forth into the hearts of men. Christ's consciousness returns to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, purpose guides the little will of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, the plan of love and light works out and seals the door where evil dwells. Light, love, and power restores the plan on earth. So as we go through these days of transmuting and transcending into a different vibrational frequency, we will notice on the outside that there are conflicts, there's disappointments. We as beings on this earth have never seen such a time as we are having now, but it is also calling us to be the divine light worker, to pick up our sword of light and hold it firmly, even though it may look on the outside as though it is not a pretty sight. But as we still stay firm in our hearts, our minds, our vision, and connected to the divine light, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We're the divine ones that have been guided to be the light workers, the divine beings here on earth. And we came at this particular time, not by accident, but the divine appointment. And we are the divine ones, and we must never forget who we are. And sometimes I need a reminder. So lots of times we need reminders. And as we do that, we also want to support each other. We're beginning to find all of the light workers that are here on earth are beginning to find that we are finding our tribe. We are finding our spiritual communities. We are finding our spiritual homes here on earth, more so than we ever have before. I know that it's I'll be 70 this year, and I know that it's been difficult for me to find the like-minded, to find the high vibrational people that I needed to, vibrate and be with. And through the last 2 years, as COVID hit, that started happening. So COVID in many ways has been a blessing to all of us because it has forced us to go within, to check in with ourselves, to be and find our true selves, and to start vibrating at that true self, that high vibration that we are. And we will start to vibrate that out more and more as we see the days go by, and you'll notice that we are finding a community, a spiritual home, our spiritual family, our tribe. So yes, we are multiplying in numbers at a higher vibration. We're coming together in community, and we are going to start seeing more and more of these things start to click. And as we go along with this and we stay at that higher vibration, we also will then be called upon to serve and to give. And when we use that divine vibration to give, we don't empty our own cups, because that vibration is so high, so beautiful. It is so full of love. We don't deplete ourselves. We receive that and we give that. And that is the divine to give. You know, sometimes you don't have things to give to people. And many times, as a human, I have people that call me because I do spiritual counseling and readings for people and healings. I'll have people call me and they're in desperate situations. And I think to myself, well, what do they want from me? Right? And that's my human mind. But as soon as I say the prayer and I get connected to that divine thing, the words that come out of my mouth, the divineness that comes through me is even surprising to me. And sometimes I'll think to myself, wow, that was really good, wasn't it? You know, but we can be a channel for spirit every waking hour of our day. And even at night, we do a lot of work in our dreams. We connect with higher beings in the astral world. So we leave our bodies a bit when we go to sleep. Particle of our soul releases, and we go into the astral world. And people say, oh, I was astral traveling. Well, we all do it. We're just not aware always what's going on. And there are a lot of us that do a lot of work in our dreams. And how many times have you woke up from a dream and had a great idea? Where did that come from? Okay. You're tapping into the divine intelligence, the creative intelligence, the guiding intelligence when you're in a dream. And so I want to do a little bit of a meditation before we leave. So if you'll just get comfortable in your chairs. And did I do that on here? No. Okay. We're going to do it on this one. Got two. Usually when I turn this on for some meditation music, we get a little bit of a commercial, so just bear with me.
Give me 60 seconds.
See, there we go. Nice commercial. Just what we needed, right? As we come together, let's put our feet firmly on the ground and hold our hands in our laps. We breathe in the divine energy through our crown, bringing it to our solar plexus, the emotional seed within us. As we hold it for a minute at the solar plexus, we release out with a deep breath, releasing any emotional turmoil, anything that is holding us back. And we release and get completely relaxed. We breathe in again, bringing it through the crown and down to the solar plexus, and hold it and release. Releasing anything that is holding us back or keeping us from moving forward. Again, we breathe in through the crown down to the solar plexus, and we release. As we release, we feel the chair below us supporting us, And we know that we are sinking deeper and deeper into that support. And as we sink deeper and deeper into that support, we see ourselves floating in a beautiful golden pond. The water is golden and charged with divine energy, recharging us in every aspect. We feel relieved and relaxed as we come into this beautiful, relaxed state and feel each and every one of our chakras being recharged by this beautiful golden energy that we're floating in. We accept that we're divine beings on a spiritual path in a physical world. We see our golden path in front of us as we plant both feet upon the golden path. We look out in front of us and we see the beautiful mountains and the beautiful trees. And in the distance, we see the ocean. And we hear the ocean soothing us as we recognize who we are, that we're on a divine path that is being guided by our higher soul, which is connected to the divine intelligence, divine love, and divine will. There is nothing to knock us off our path. As you look at your path, it is clear, it is guided, it is divine. There's beautiful golden light shining down on you as you walk on your path. With a song in your heart and the innocence of a child in your heart, and a smile and the joy that fills your body and your mind, your emotions, and your soul. We recognize that we are the divine ones, that we came here to serve. And we hold that power and that will within us as we walk on this golden path, this beautiful path. We realize that we are one and connected with our divine spark within us, and that we will never again feel separation from that divine spark from this moment on. We invoke the violet flame within us to connect us to the purpose of our lives. And know that we came here with a divine purpose, and that we will always have a divine purpose. And we know that no human put us on our path, and that no human can take us off our path. We are divine individuals. We are sparks of God. We are children of God. We are one with God, and we are one with all, even down to the smallest creature of nature. We are one. We see things as we see ourselves on this golden path in new light. And as we move from this place here today in this holy sanctuary, we will look at things with enlightenment, with joy, with guidance, and with peace and harmony. We connect to all of that as we see ourselves skipping down the golden path, bringing forth our inner child and showing the world our inner child of beauty, of wonderment, of joy, of divineness. Our inner childs may have been wounded at some time, but now the inner child is free to come out and be integrated with our divine self and live in joy and wonderment. No more fragments of this inner child, for this inner child is whole and healthy and happy. And now we integrate that inner child with who we are now, the divine selves that we are now. And we'll be able to look at the world with wonderment and joy from this moment on. We have perspective of the divine truth. So we have insight and understanding and knowledge of what is going on outside of us. So we may have compassion and understanding, and not to let it knock us off our beautiful golden path. We are whole. We are healthy. We are happy. Now, as I say that, smile to yourself. Smile at your inner child. Smile at your divine self. We will go into silence as I chant Om. 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 Take in a deep breath and slowly come back to your bodies. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Raise your hands in blessing position. Imagine the earth in front of you, sending out this golden light from your crown and your hands and your heart. Send it to the earth. Where there is no peace, let there be peace. Where there is no love, let there be love. Where there is no harmony, let there be harmony. Where there is no intelligence, let there be intelligence. Where there is no will, let there be will. Let there be divine will blessed upon this earth, that we may bring forth the new earth of the fifth dimensional frequency of love. Now you can put your hands in your lap. We thank you, Father, Mother God, for this beautiful and wonderful privilege to be here together. We thank the angels, the healing angels, the guides, the loved ones, the teachers, the holy ones, the masters, the gurus, and the great, great ones. The holy angels, the archangels, the spiritual helpers. We thank our designated healing angels for coming forth and giving us inspiration, upliftment, guidance, healing, divine protection, divine blessings, and most of all, peace and harmony in our hearts. We thank you again, Father, Mother God, for this great, great privilege to be here with each other. So be it, so be it, so be it, and so it is. Amen, 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 and amen. So as we end, on the front of your page, right before it says prayer at the end, it says, I am light, I am love, I'm truth, and we'll repeat that 3 times. I am light, I am love, I am truth. I am light, I am love, I am truth. I am light, I am love, I am truth. So be it, so be it, so be it, and so it is. Amen. Thank you all for coming today. Namaste. Have a blessed and beautiful day and the rest of your week. If any of you need any help on any level of healing or spiritual guidance, you can contact me. If you need my contact information, I have it. The Cosmic Center is always here to give service at the end of April, April 30th and May 1st. We are going to have here at the Cosmic Center, hosted by the Cosmic Center and Soulful Echoes, a Metaphysical Enlightenment Fest. We will have readers and healers and vendors, and there'll be food trucks, there'll be all kinds of wonderful things going on. There'll be speakers, we have guest speakers, and we also have keynote speakers, which are the 4 reverends that are here at the Cosmic Center. Myself, Reverend Nancy Lee, Reverend Sharon Elizabeth, Reverend Robin, and Reverend Annie will be speaking. That will be a paid speaking engagement. That will be an hour. And then there'll be 30-minute talks from vendors and people that are here. There's going to be music. At the end of the day on Saturday, we will have a drum circle and a static dancing. And we'd like to see all of you come and join us for this wonderful spiritual celebration. And there'll be more to come in the future, but we're bringing more love and light in every possible way we possibly can to bring this vibration up and bring ourselves and the world into a frequency of love. And so that is what we're planning on doing. So thank you all for coming and joining us online. Thank you for joining us online. Namaste. Remember to support us by giving a love donation, either online or in the back of the Cosmic Center Sanctuary. And I am so grateful for you allowing me to serve this way. Without being able to have this venue, I wouldn't be able to serve the way I've been led to serve. So thank you all so much. It's in my heart and gratitude that you all are allowing me to be a part of your lives. So there we go. And we will say namaste.